one, am very, very excited that I figured out the microphone.
Me too. That's incredibly exciting.
Right? So I was really baffled when I was editing that last one. I'm like, why does it sound so weird?
Why is it so bad?
I have this microphone. Why
Why
can't
am I
it
so
hear me?
short? Oh, geez. Sorry, I'm trying to be a tall person.
So,
How have you been?
man, I tell you what, I sure do love how I feel every day.
That's good. That's
Hell yeah.
a plus. It's better than not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The kids, they're almost done with school, but Avery's going to high school, and like that's a lot.
Yes.
Look what I made.
Oh, that's cool. Is that a new one? I thought I'd seen that one before.
Oh, I'll show you another one then.
Oh, well, then let me get another one out.
I know. Oh, it's been bad. It's become like a full-blown obsession. I've made like 80 pins. There's just like, I can't stop.
Oh, you can't stop? We'll start selling them.
I am. These go for $20. People pay $185 for this, Phil. Who would do that? I mean, do it.
The people that you could sell it to would do it.
I know. It's amazing. And I'm not selling it for that much.
So I want to say something in that area. Thought for me, like, so I've been looking into with AI, like, what are evergreen ideas that I could create, passive income. I may have told you that already.
Mm-hmm.
But like in the past, if I were to like go find, say, a journal, like a template for a journal that already exists, and then I just went and changed a couple prompts on it and maybe put a little logo or maybe not, whatever, just made it mine. But really it's just a blank template. And then I start having a landing page or something where people can buy it, and they buy it, and say 1 million people buy that shit, and it's $15 a pop or something like that. I think a historical version of myself kind of felt bad. Like, hey, you just took a thing and flipped it and did whatever. But it's like, yeah, but who gives a shit? That's what existence is, And if a person uses that journal and they find benefit in it, then fine. So same thing for you. If someone buys it for $200, $300
right,
and they're happy, then who gives a shit?
That's very true. Exactly. Because like me, I was the person that would buy it. I wouldn't make anything. I didn't know how. And now I have the time to learn and sit and do it. And so, yeah, I totally get it. I'd be like, here you go. Thank you. Bye.
Hell yeah. Well, that's cool.
Hell yeah. But yeah, so I found out that it's like whenever I got my subscription thingy, that the feminine, mother, and the labyrinths are like part of the season right now, because they'll go through like the different pagan holidays. And I just thought that was cool because we were talking about labyrinths and what had happened to you last time. And it literally like shows the picture like labyrinths are special. My hands are dyed from markers.
Oh, nice. It looks like you as a kid having fun finger painting or whatnot.
I know.
So are you saying like you did some more deep diving into
well, I just sent you that picture and you were like, what?
Yeah, I didn't know what it was at the time.
That's what I know. I was like, well, I was like, look, synchronicity, but I didn't explain why. It was because I just got the package that had, it's like a grimoire sheet, and you can put it in your grimoire, which is a book where you put like spells and whatnot. Just things you want to remember, like concoctions that worked for a sore foot or whatever. And there are these beautiful pictures, but that was for the season. And I've never gotten that or seen that before, where it specifically mentions spirals and labyrinths.
Oh,
because when we were on vacation, like this artist had done he hung his art in this entire hotel room. We were in Venice Beach and covered in spirals and eyes, just covered. They were really, really badass. Venice Beach was awesome. Terrifying at night.
I just realized I had a whole bunch of browsers open. I think what I think is great is if we, with this podcast right now, like, hey man, the more real we are. Like, remember when we did that one where my eye was like all swollen and we decided just to have fun for the day? Like,
your pink eye?
Yeah, I think that, and we just recorded and just like whatever. I think that like, like that's what it is. I mean, we're gonna talk about cool stuff, but yeah, I like the kind of just like, hey, we're here hanging out, and we might talk about some stuff related to like
chilling.
Maybe
I know. It was funny because I'm like, I didn't send any context. I was just like, look, it's synchronicity. Here's a piece of paper. And I was sitting not on the toilet thinking about it. And I was like, I don't think I explained anything about that fucking picture that I sent. and I hadn't. So yeah, when I listened to it, I was like, oh, that's just all questions. Dang it.
Yeah, well, that's all right. But yeah, I was gonna say like even if we talk about like the idea of you helping with the editing of the videos and stuff, like whatever
Mm-hmm.
we, you know, I think like in the past, you know, we would like get off and be like, all right, let's talk a little bit about stuff. But I'm just kind of like, you know,
Right.
that's just what the podcast is. I kind of feel like,
When it says mark, is that like if there's somewhere where later I can use that and be like, ooh, I want to bookmark that spot?
oh, like on the bottom of the thing or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't see. Oh, you know, I don't know. Add marker, maybe.
Well,
I
now I'm afraid to touch it.
I know, like when I edit in Final Cut Pro, there's a thing that looks like that where I mark a page or something. So maybe it's something like that. I don't know. I think there's far more that we can do with the stuff than we know that we can do. I think
Right.
that the AI baby thing is super cool.
That was the coolest thing ever. I looked like a baby. Like we were dying laughing. The shirt, I was looking at my tiny shirt and my tiny face and tiny Phil with his glasses. I was like, why would we do it regular ever? We should always be babies.
Well,
because,
so the funny thing, I thought about this
but then
because,
we would not be able to laugh.
well, right now it's set to where you can go and take any 1 minute clip or less and and transform. What was that?
I was like, looking at my lashes, and I was like, I feel silly. And then
It almost looked like a dragon or something for a second there.
I am.
Oh, okay. And I also just recently watched How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, like for the first time ever.
I'd never seen it before.
Ever, and it blew your mind, right?
I thought it was amazing.
It is,
I teared up because it was kind of like a synchronicity. I'm totally off track. I don't even know what I was talking about before. Big synchronicity, like with the message with the dad and the son at the end, like how the dad finally was like, "I see you" and stuff.
Finally accepted him.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, I think my dad accepts me too now from up in the heavens and stuff." And stuff, you know. So it's
This is really intense, and no one told me. It's really good, though, right?
yeah.
There's also other ones, and they're also really, really good.
Other ones, what?
Dude, there's like How to Train Your Dragon 1, 2, and I think they just came out with a new one.
They have a series out now or whatever I saw.
Yeah, they have the series, but they have like the movies too that were. I won't spoil it, but they're fun.
Are they all animated?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
the same kind of. Do you have the same dudes playing the same
same characters, so it's not like different voices, same people.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay.
So get ready for an exciting
Get
evening.
ready for an exciting time.
How to Train Your Dragon all night long.
Man,
Yeah,
what was it though?
The kids were on that one for a minute, and I loved it. So I was
I know what it was now. I remember now. Okay, so the minute thing. So on Riverside, you can take any clip less than a minute and make it the AI baby thing, you know? And so I thought like I could just go bit by bit and do the whole episode. I just have to export a minute and then a minute and a minute and then go to the thing. And I could, in theory, make one of our uploads the entire thing a baby podcast.
Oh my God.
I tell you what, I'm certainly going to do it.
I would not be able to watch it like repeatedly. I couldn't stop watching the baby one.
Yeah, I'm certainly going to do at some point in this edit. I'm going to take like a portion of it and make us babies in it before.
Make us babies in it.
I think
it is. It's so funny.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to do it.
Sucking on a thumb or like a little bink.
Have you seen the other like the reels that are out there where they're people like they're actually like they're doing a really good job of like doing the edits? Like the one that I share with you and the one that'll be in this one or whatever. Like it's pretty cool, it's pretty good, but they've got some people out there that are doing like real versions, like where it looks even better, you know, like where they could probably put a beard on me and stuff as a baby. I think it'd be funny if I was a baby and I had a beard on it, you know. But
that's crazy. I thought that was pretty freaking cool. I was like, okay, how are we supposed to tell real life anymore? That looks like a baby talking, and it's me.
Oh, did we talk about or did you see that little 7-minute clip with the Gary Vaynerchuk and what he was saying?
Yeah.
What about the having an AI co-host? How about that? That's kind of crazy.
It's crazy, but to me right now it's all still like it's fascinating because I used to be very much I'm still kind of like, they're going to take over pretty quick. I mean, the Facebook algorithm thing that like created its own language and they were like, oh shit, I guess we have to get rid of it because it's already like we can't understand the language that it's using. And it was basically, and then I saw this other documentary about AI, this really cool robot looked creepy real. And it's interesting to me that we get really creeped out by something that looks superhuman, but we know it isn't. Like our body's just like, ugh. And they ask her a series of like regular kind of small talk questions, and she answered one with like, I do think I have feelings and I don't understand why the human race can't explain that and we're better than you. And I was like, oh, it's already happening with that one. She's already
Where did that come from?
It was on a documentary that I watched, and it was something specifically on AI, I think maybe on Prime or Gaia.
Yeah, I don't know.
But she wasn't saying anything like untrue, like as like if I was a person, like she was basically saying, they were like, do you have feelings or do you believe you have a soul and consciousness? And she was like, you know, she just answered wicked smart and was like, y'all are stupid and we're better. And I was like, oh, there it is. There it is.
Well, you know, I know it's a documentary, so it's probably better sourcing, but I've seen like videos where people will be like talking to their AI and they'll upload the conversation with the AI and it'll say certain stuff that'll be like, do you hear that? But the thing is, you can prompt AI. Like you can prompt it first and say, hey, I'm going to talk to you here in a minute. When I ask you this question, I want you to respond as if you are sentient. Okay? Okay, cool. Go ahead when you're ready. And then you do it and then you record it. So like a lot of that stuff, like on TikTok, you'll see the clips where it's like the fear mongering, you know, sounds behind it and stuff. Like, listen to what this AI thing said. We don't know what the prompter said to the AI before it. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So
I do like, it's just, to me, it's just inevitable for artificial intelligence. If it's able to learn on its own, to me, that would make it sentient. I don't know.
I think
just
that,
like she was like talking about feelings, and I'm like, what? You weren't supposed to have those.
But I'm saying, like, I don't know.
It was also modeled after the person that made it. So like all
the thing is, there's documentaries out there that appear like,
and just because it was a documentary, it doesn't mean
we don't know, you know.
Yeah.
Like for instance, Bigfoot. I believe that Bigfoot exists. Okay.
I think it's an interdimensional thing. Yeah.
It is though. That's the thing. That's the piece of it. But I started watching this show. What's it called? I think it was Bigfoot Expedition. I don't know, but it's a more recent.
There's a lot of them.
But there's a more recent one that seems like it's like they got a scientist. It's a primatologist. They got
some crazy sounds.
But I reached a point where I was like, wait a minute. The head dude is an actor. I found out he was an actor, right? Yeah. And I'm like, you know, and then like they'll do stuff where they'll have some new gadget out and like, did you see that? Oh my God. And then you're thinking like, yeah, you guys should keep fucking with that thing and see what else you find. And then they move on to something else. What's going on? You know? And so, you know, it's like, it depends on the documentary. I don't know. I
think for sure. Because from what I've seen, you know, like anyone with the opinion and an opinion can post a documentary like on Gaia, like some of them I'm like, wow, not that they were bad, they were just really, I'm like, made for like look like something I would make. But yeah, with the Bigfoot stuff, I don't discount it because people are always like proof. And like, I think millions of sightings counts, given that in court we count eyewitness testimony, even though that's ridiculous because everyone raised like 50% fake. But the fact that you know, we count on that, but when it comes to anything paranormal, we're like, nah, we need real proof. And I'm like, what? Like footprints, video. And if it's interdimensional, you're not ever going to really get it. I mean, you might, and people have, like, nowadays with everyone having a phone, they've gotten some pretty weird footage, but everyone's going to have their opinion and say fake or real. And it's like, it's just whatever you believe in the first place.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And if I see one, I'm a freak out. But
it's also been something that's been reported for fucking forever, and not only here but across the globe, right?
Every indigenous culture is like, Bigfoot. We call him
of course.
this.
How do you guys not know about that?
What the fuck?
Don't you be going in them woods now?
Like you call them aliens, we call them sky people. They've been our homies since day one. A1. I don't know what y'all are freaking out about. But the Hopi, all the indigenous cultures are completely open and talk about aliens, Bigfoot, walkers. I don't like saying it, but they're
so that's the only thing is like the show that I watched, that when I was watching it, there are certain things that they did with tests with like thermal readings and stuff where you see some shit and you're like, damn, that's something. But then they also will do like the tree, they'll go to the tree structures and shit. Or there'll be a noise. They're like, did you hear that? You know, and it's like, you don't know, you know.
Well, yeah,
and
because like in the forest, everything, the sounds get distorted. I'll hear a dog bark, and I know I'm at my city park. I know it's a dog, but it'll still sound oogie coming in through the forest. It could sound like, I mean, there's times where I was like, that sounded like a squatch. I really hope the mic isn't picking up my tummy. It's growling so hard. It's like,
oh, that'll be all right. It'll add
the
to it. You know?
Sasquatches are gonna come bursting out of
Your
it.
tummy's trying to talk about Sasquatch. Your tummy's
It's
long
like,
lost relative or
bitch, I'm
Sasquatch.
starving. Get it together. Where's my bottle and my titty milk? That's for the clip.
Yeah, that's for the real right there. 5 second
There it
reel. There's someone I know at a dog park that I go to, and she's very
Is it
like
a dog or a person?
is a person. She has dogs though, but she's very like also analytical and stuff, but also like open to spirituality. And we talk about all sorts of stuff. But one day I brought up, I was like, how about Bigfoot? And she goes, I believe in Bigfoot. And I was like, damn. She's like, I've seen him. I'm like, no shit. And, you know, and so I was like, tell me what.
Shit. I love when people have stories like that.
Yeah. And it's like she says like nobody's ever believed her or her friend that saw it. Like it was her and her friend.
Yeah, because that's what we want to do is make up an incredibly detailed story that we already know no one's going to believe.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but like, and she grew up in a small town in Illinois. And so like, you know, and so she's like, I never talk about it with anybody. Did it like
attack her?
Huh?
What did it do? Was it scary
or
nice?
No. But like anybody that she's ever talked about before is just like looked at her like she's crazy. And
especially like family or anyone that knows you, or those are the last people that are going to believe shit that you say. Yeah.
So, but anyhow, they were they got back on a flight from a trip, and I think that they were like in their mid-20s or something, and they were driving on an interstate, and there's one of those like open grass fields that's in front of a tree line off the right. And it was like a 6-second window, and they were going, 70 miles an hour, but they saw this massive fucking thing trudging along the line, and it clearly had hair and clearly was like, it was light outside. So there was no mistaking it. Right. But it was so fast,
so then you're like,
And so it's like one of those things where if someone else hears that, they're like, all right, well, that's just fucking whatever.
Well, because that's
like,
what your own
I
brain's
know this
gonna
woman,
do.
and I've talked to her like a lot, and she's not someone who would just make some shit up,
But like, who really is? Not that people don't, but those
they,
are the ones
they
that
are.
on
They
TV
are. They're
too.
definitely out there.
Like I've seen so many UFOs. Do I go to like NBC and try to get on TV? No, I just tell you about it. But like, not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just, yeah, it's a little bit more reliable when someone doesn't just, when they're telling you personally. I'm sure her brain was like, nah, but she also was like, that was not a person.
Yeah.
Like,
I think she hadn't thought about it in a long time. And so when we went down that road, I was like, she's like, I believe, but I don't see how. I'm like, well, if they're cryptid, then it works. And she's like, what? I'm like, you don't know what that is? She's like, no. I'm like, oh God, let me tell you about
Explain to the people what a cryptid is.
Well, that's the thing is like, I'm not the full knowledge person, but I know that there's varying forms of cryptids, like the skinwalker, and there's ones up in the Northeast and potentially all over the world if you include Bigfoot and potentially others. But the whole idea is that they merge between different, whatever you call it, dimensions, which we now know is that is something, and I think when you look at like people that remote view and they're able to see different stuff, or people that are able to see different colors that others aren't able to see, or people that are able to see auric fields, like it's like we don't all see the same shit. It doesn't mean that the shit one person sees
isn't being seen. Exactly.
Yeah,
dude, that's so true. Yeah,
so that's tough.
There's this show called The Unexplained, and I try not to watch it because a lot of times I'll get scared.
Is that the Shatner one?
Yeah.
Gotta love Shatner. But they have a lot of those on there, the cryptids. And again, the indigenous population, they talk to them and they're like, yeah, it's like they look like a pair of pants. They're like 6 feet tall and they just walk around. They look like a pair of pants. I don't know what it is. And they're like, yeah, they've always been here. And I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, I guess when everyone's told you since
Skinwalker
forever.
Ranch, when they go to interview the locals, they're like, we don't go over there.
We don't. I would, nope. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No, because it's like there's something clearly is like
stay away. And they're like, let's investigate more. And I'm like, it doesn't want you to. It said no.
Although I am super fascinated by Skinwalker Ranch, and I believe that there's a new
it's
one coming out soon. Let me see if
Really?
there's a new update on that. I think so. I think like within a month. The last
Did
time.
you feel like fully betrayed when he was like, oh, I work for the government? And I was just like,
No.
I did. I didn't see it coming.
No, I didn't.
I mean, he seemed narky, but I was like,
when
wait,
you
really?
understand like his clearance stuff and all that, like it makes sense, you know.
I know, but like on a reality TV show, I was like, that seemed like help. Maybe they helped. Like, I think the producer.
I mean, out of the people that are there,
like, I don't think he was against saying it. I think the producer was like, "Don't say it. We're gonna bring it out." And this, you know,
nothing from nothing. But out of the cast, like he's the most valuable. I mean, they all are great.
He's like the only one that knows. What he's, like, not that knows what he's doing, but he's got the PhD. You know.
When is new Skinwalker season coming out? I'm just curious here. Searching the web. Oh yeah, have you been farting around with the AIs at all?
No, I tried getting it on my phone, and I don't know if I got the right one. I have to redo it, but I saw it on here. It's like on my Google Chrome, so I got to play with it.
Man, it's good stuff. Let's see here. Is set to premiere on Tuesday, June 3rd. Holy shit, it's like right around the fucking corner. Are you
serious? Are you serious? No way.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yes.
That's exciting. I'm pumped about that.
Creepy scares, and they get such good. They do good experiments.
They do, and there is like, you know, there's oftentimes repetition. I think the last season was kind of like they got done, and you're like, that's it. You guys are done. I'm like, what's going on?
It's like we were waiting for it to come walking out and be like, and that's never gonna happen. But it's still cool that they're collecting data and that people are going, oh, this could be real.
Oh yeah, it's definitely doing that. I don't know. I think they might end up. I mean, if they keep going, they might end up coming on something. I don't know. But it's also like it makes you like. I kind of want them to be like a year-round thing. Like they need to just create a YouTube channel and have ongoing investigations.
Just set up game cameras everywhere.
Yeah, ongoing investigations.
Like, you know, like the giraffe cameras when you're waiting for them to give birth. They should do that with Skinwalker, and you pay a subscription. And I would watch it.
If you had
to pay for different zones, they need to get on that.
If you had like a good team that was doing like, hey guys, this week we experienced this and this. This what happened. We're just reviewing like that kind of shit. That would be cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's like, no, well, we're done with these 8 episodes. You got to wait another year now. And we're also going to take a break. We're not going to be here, but you know.
Well, yeah, like they've all been physically injured.
Have they all? I don't think that the one dude that sits behind the computer has. I mean, he comes out from time to time, but the guy that mainly stays, he mainly stays in the station or whatever.
I think one time stuff went down in there.
Huh.
The electrical.
There was some bumping and whatnot, but I don't think it like.
But I don't think anything. Maybe not. Yeah, he doesn't count.
Yeah.
But the people like that are out there are getting like he got radiation poisoning from a nothing.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
How does that happen? I look like a ghost. I need to get my fake tanner on because this is.
You look
I'm like an extra light bulb in the shot.
You look like you're ready to go to an Aerosmith concert.
I look like I'm ready to go to an Aerosmith. I look like I'm ready to go to Venice, which is funny because like the one thing I always get like tourist t-shirts because I'm that guy and I didn't. And my mommy gave me this just totally randomly from Target and it says Venice Summerfest. So I was like, what a synchronicity.
I don't know why, but it makes me think of Aerosmith. The top of it, I was like, Aerosmith. I don't know.
You were just thinking of Aerosmith.
Well, it came through. You know, the universe did it. I didn't do it.
It's true.
Do you like Aerosmith?
I do. I mean, I really only know like the main songs, and I feel like Mick Jagger's just that's him, right? Or is it
Steven Tyler?
That one. They're both still alive, right?
I think so.
Like
I know Steven Tyler. I think is. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, that's where like I get my theory. I'm like, I don't think it's not that what you take into your body is not important, but like if there's not any shame around it, you can still live forever and it not affect you.
Dude, I'm telling you what. I'm telling you what. There's something about release of shame. I tell you what, boy.
It's fucking big. That stuff, it literally eats. When my kidneys are hurting, I'm like, shit. I'm either feeling guilt, fear, or shame. Mm-hmm. And it's usually shame because it ties up all the other ones.
I feel like I've done a really good job of releasing a lot of the shame that I've carried in my body.
That's fantastic. I've been
Yeah,
doing a lot better lately, for sure.
I
It's
feel
just
a lot
figuring it
lighter.
out. You physically feel lighter,
Oh
right?
yeah.
You're just, it's like a, oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, well, since we brought this up, it's something that I have been thinking about. Well, not like consistently, but I do think about, and I talk to clients occasionally. We may have talked about this before. Kind of a racy subject to bring up, but I know in the beginning there was a client that I worked with, and we were like 4 weeks in, and he brought up his porn addiction or
Hmm.
him being addicted to porn. Maybe it was week 6, something like that, and at that time I already could see it. Like I hadn't really gotten to the space where I felt the liberation I do now, but I could
Hmm.
see it. I could see that, and so I was like, well, the real thing here is like, what are you thinking about and how do you feel when you do it, and like what do you focus like,
Hmm.
that's. And he's like, what? I'm like, I know it sounds bananas, man, but like that's the real thing. It's like, so if you're watching some kind of content that's incredibly abrasive, or it's some kind of negative, and okay, yeah, maybe don't watch that shit. But like, if you're just watching some stuff of two creators that are creating a piece of content and they seem to be enjoying themselves and you enjoy yourself, this
Hmm.
is actually a portal. Like, I don't think I said that to him, but I realize now it's a portal. And in Think and Grow Rich, it's one of the top principles is like the alchemy of sexual energy. And you
Oh
can,
God.
and there's so much pressure. I got to quit fapping. You got to quit porn stuff. It's like, well, really, you just got to release the shame that's in your fucking body.
Boom, there it is. That's everything. It's everything. Because like I have read also, like there was a book and I took it way too seriously. And I'm like, wait a second, who's this guy? Who, not to disrespect the person, but it was just like, don't drink, don't do it. Basically saying those things just lower your vibration. And I'm like, well, oh my God, I don't want to do that. Well, a lot of, I mean, like you said, do you, we all have our vices, so preferably one that's like not going to kill you or disrupt your entire day. Like addiction, porn addiction, that's like I can't hold a job because I can't stop having, that's
Yeah,
different
if you're
than like,
if you're
or
constantly
or
like
if
going
it's
to the
just a shame.
bathroom, or
Yeah,
like there's some kind of a thing, but if you do it like once a day or every other day or a
like
couple times a week or something like that, I mean,
and to be
natural.
honest, what sucks is I think for maybe it's the same for guys too, but women, we like there's still a certain amount of shame every time, a little
Oh,
bit,
I know. I think we were talking
like
about that on the last
every
call, like
single
how like
time. I'm like,
women
really?
raised, like you said it, that you're either
A
conditioned to
virgin or
be
a
this
slut?
or a virgin or conditioned
Well,
to be
because
one of.
yeah, we get the Virgin Mary or the slut. Like we don't get it in between, you know. Like, hey, she's cool. She's one of the dudes, or she's, you know. It's never just like I'm a person.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I believe that, man, through and through. And I know for me personally, when I do have a self celebration session these
Hmm.
days, there is a unique difference between the after moment. And I think that this is also like with just sex with people, right? Like people that have sex and then they afterwards are like, oh, why should I,
It's it's completely different. You're in a fully different place than when you're in it. It's like you might as well be in another dimension, and then you come back to reality.
but that's that moment to let go and be like, hey, it's okay that I did that,
Yeah,
like, and
exactly.
the more that you do that, the
And
less
it's beautiful, and that's literally part of why we're here, is to
yeah,
feel physical pain and
yeah.
pleasure. And
Hmm.
but yeah, we were programmed not that way.
Yeah,
We were
when you look at it, like, if no one had any words to read and they were just simply looking at the human body and like, okay, this works this way, apparently you listen here and the mouth eats food, okay, that makes sense. What's this little thing down here? Okay, and then when you touch that and it becomes bigger, okay, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you engage with this appendage, whatever, right, like, and you get to a certain point,
No, but I love that because that's actually a
there's
big thing.
there's this euphoric thing that you can't access, typically in other states at all. Like, why would that be
You
bad?
also
Why
can't
would that be a
explain it.
bad thing? It's like
Exactly.
clearly the body like likes it. It's just the shame that we've been
And
trained
the
to have around it.
medicine that comes with it. Like, so if you have a headache before that, then you need to, because after, like, I don't feel any pain. There's like the chemicals that get released. It's really incredible. But it is like the shame is such a it just gets wrapped around with it, and it takes actual work of being like, I deserve pleasure. This is
Yeah.
okay.
It's okay for me
And
to have pleasure.
yeah,
Right.
like, and things that are pleasurable aren't, we've been programmed like pleasure equals bad, or pleasure equals, or hell, relaxation equals lazy.
Mhm.
You know, it becomes like a mark of character how much you did today or something. I don't know, but
Yeah.
it's just, it's fascinating. And shame is a huge one that I don't, it's such a big loaded word. I think it's difficult for people to go like, yeah, I do carry a lot of shame.
Well,
You
most
know,
people don't know it. They
they
don't
don't
realize.
know.
And in fact, if you told them, they're like, no, I don't. But it's like, yeah, you do.
No, you do. You for sure do. Like, you're a person, you do. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all in like how we feel every day. You can see it in people's faces, you know?
Oh my God. Yeah.
So
You can feel it in a fart, you know, like when
you
it's
can
a
feel that
shame
shit in a
fart,
fart.
when
Yeah.
it's like holding on but still squeaks out. That's a shame fart.
It's a shame fart. You got to watch out.
We
for
have
those.
names for him in this house.
You
know?
got to talk to your butt when you have a shame fart, much like when you talk to your inner child. You have to be like, hey, butt, it's okay that you had a
Everything's
fart.
okay.
In fact, if you think about it, this is like God's comedy like signature right here. And so embrace the fart, and it's okay. And it's sometimes
Embrace it, and it's okay. And they say that it's like knock, or it's not knock knock, but why do girls fart after they pee? To blow dry. I feel like it was on a popsicle stick in the 80s, but surely not.
Oh man,
Surely.
that's great.
Don't call me Shirley.
Oh, great line, airplane, good stuff.
Mm.
Hell yeah. Well, keeping in
Oh, I thought we did so good with our 30-minute time
I
frame.
think that this is good. It's kind of like a water cooler talk thing.
I love it.
That we just
That's what we'll
record. That we just record.
I seem to, yeah. I think we're gonna like this one.
What if we go to water cooler woo instead of woo woo crew?
I'm down. I'm glad I didn't.
What do you
bring
think?
A
Let's talk about
yet.
that for a quick second. As far as before we cut this thing off.
Well,
the woo woo crew is cool. And I like it.
But I've also noticed it's hard to get it anywhere because like other people have used it.
Yeah.
And that annoys me. I'm like,
Well, yeah, there's other people that have used it, but nobody's really like, there's not like a big
doing
thing
anything
about
with
it.
it. Yeah.
But
I don't know.
there's
like
no water cooler woo is almost like what?
Water cooler and woo?
I don't know. I'm kind of thinking,
or is that race?
Like think about like when you hear something like that, you're like, what is that about? Just think about water cooler woo by itself.
I know, because I do all these different crafts, and on YouTube I was gonna call it, well, I call my crafts crap. I'm like, look at my craps, and I was gonna make it come crap with me.
Yeah. I think water cooler woo is my vote. What do you think?
I like it.
So we'll spell woo the same way. It'll be 2 capital W's, right?
Yeah.
The woo is WOO, but water cooler woo.
I like it.
I mean,
but now how do I sign out?
I don't know what. Oh, well, we can still say that we're the woo woo crew. I mean, I don't know.
We could still call ourselves that. There's no fucking rules. There's no
there are no
rules.
Or you could just be like woo woo out.
Yeah, and we call ourselves the water cooler or the woo crew because we stand around the water cooler and talk about shit, and sometimes it's woo woo.
Yeah.
So I can still say it. I'm saying it.
Yeah, well, that's fine too. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay. All right, cool.
We're taking fucking both. How about that? We keep both.
That's right. Depending on whatever day we feel like doing
water
stuff.
Cooler woo.
Nobody's going to take that either. That's us.
Yeah, no one. But it's genius because then it's like, okay, it's not just woo woo stuff. It doesn't lose that market that wants to hear whatever.
Well, and I think also it kind of offers a little bit of freedom too, because woo woo crew.
Sometimes I get nervous and I'm like, is this all I can talk about?
Yeah, like woo woo crew is almost like, well, you better be talking about woo woo stuff the whole time and spiritual stuff, which we don't, but
which we don't, and I try to, but I'm like, sometimes I only have the same stories right now, or it's just, if it's not flowing, I can't.
I think it takes off so much pressure, and so we can talk about whatever. We can talk about, like, we might be on one.
It takes off so much pressure. This is like really fun. Yeah.
Hell yeah, let's do that. Okay.
Problem solved.
In that case, you can go ahead and do the thing now.
Shit's already changing. Woo woo crew out.